Dogpatch.
Top of the morning to you, everybody.
Back in the saddle again.
What's up, Dante? How you feeling?
I feel pretty good. We just had a good brunch.
Steak taco.
It's snowing in Chicago as it does in the winter.
Yeah, here in June.
Chilling.
And we're going to listen to some more records today.
Let's talk about some music.
So, what do you have in mind? This is you're behind the turntables. I'm in the Ed McMahon chair.
Well, we're just coming off the heels of our epic James Brown exploration.
Yeah.
So we'll go not in the opposite direction in a weird way.
Yeah.
We're going to play country music today.
Oh.
Cool.
And obviously that's a vast and deep world. And I would say probably one of the most neglected genres by collector types, etc.
I think that's fair.
There's so many. Even the rarest, most obscure country 45 is basically worthless if it's not rockabilly. Millions and millions of records that are out there that are waiting to be explored, and it is truly dense and fathomless.
This is not going to be comprehensive. This is not going to be Punta Mayo, Dante Garfagna curates country CD you can buy at Starbucks.
I'm just going to play country music that I like. Songs that I like. I lean towards the more airy, mellow, sublime kind of stuff rather than straight rocking honky tonk.
Yeah.
I'm also kind of staying a little bit outside of what I call the Nashville model. Because by about 1960, there was basically four kinds of country music, and they have these different rhythms. It got very packaged. If you were a woman, you were expected to sound like Loretta Lynn or Patsy Cline. There's just so many different kinds of country music under the banner of country.
Pre-trope country.
Yeah, it did kind of become, very like it goes in this box. There's a big difference that happens, too, sometime in the late 50s, early 60s, where you have what I call true country, like rural, old-timey people that are tied to a different era, and then people that understand that you can make a living off of this and are trying to basically emulate everything that was coming out of Nashville, of which there were millions. But like I said, we're going to play slightly stranger stuff, and we can get into a little bit more about the kind of machinations of the country music industry as we go through. First thing we're going to listen to is from your hometown of Winston-Salem. It's a fellow named Cecil Campbell. Kirby and I differ on the way we pronounce Cecil.
I'm a Ceciler.
I say Cecil. Does it matter? He was a steel guitar player, played all stringed instruments, kind of barnstormed around North Carolina through the 50s and 60s. This is a record he did on MGM in the late 50s called Fog Rising on the Mountains, and this is some ethereal country.
When the night
Those are my people.
Does that evoke some Piedmont fog for you?
It really does. Is like when I talk to people of my dad's generation, or even when I talk to like Mitch Easter or Chris Stamey, like people who are like between me and my dad's age, like I hear a Forsyth County, Winston-Salem foothills accent that I'm like, God, like me and my friends will never sound like that. Like we're only getting more homogenized, but
Yeah, that's a different world.
Yeah.
Like that world doesn't really exist any longer.
Yeah.
The vibe of that, it feels old world, and it feels like somebody that is a little bit reticent to join this modern world.
Yeah.
Those are a lot of the complaints of country artists at this time. You'll hear it in their lyrics where they're like, all this automation and all these pills, these magic pills that you can take to lose weight and stuff. While they have a kind of earthy sensibility, they're still addressing these things that might bother them.
Yeah.
A very popular theme in country lyrics around this time as well was the telephone. Because you have these rural people, and they, the phone had been around for 40 years, but they only got it in their holler like that month. So,
party line.
Yeah, it was like having the internet. They're like, fuck, I can call my mama or anything.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting, this in the mid-50s, this kind of collision of the old world and then the modern American world. I do like some kind of Nashville stuff that is coming out of the machine in Nashville trying to make hits and stuff. But I tend to like the stuff that still has a foot in that older era where they're talking about loss and death and love, the kind of eminent themes of the human condition.
Yeah.
Which will bring us to this next record by a fairly well-known group, usually thought of more as a bluegrass group called the Barrier Brothers. They were popular on the radio. They had like a weekly radio show. This musically isn't really that crazy, but the narrative quality of this and the lyrics are so good and so real and so heartbreaking.
I stopped by your heart this morning. I wanted to know the truth, sweetheart. I wanted to know if you still love just another lie. Every day I have the blues, that bad kind of blues. I just can't lose what you told me was just another lie. I should know better by now. I shouldn't trust you like I do. But when you roll those great big eyes, it's just like an angel out of the blue. So why do I cry? Why do I sigh when I know deep down inside what you told me was just another lie?
So that was Linda Brannon, Just Another Lie, on Ram from Shreveport, Louisiana. What'd you think about that, John?
That was beautiful. The thing that I think about is, not to say it's not marketable, but I guess I see country music's need to like have these slots or sections to put a record in.
It's interesting because even though it's a gigantic genre of music, it's still in a strange way a niche market.
Yeah.
I've always kind of evened it out with like rap. Like there's rap dudes that only listen to rap. Nothing else.
Yeah.
Just rap. And there's country people often just listen to country. They're like, keep that rock and roll shit away from me. I just want country music.
I'm probably unfairly using country as like a catch-all. When I moved to New York and I sounded like I just fell off the peach truck, people would be like, "You're from North Carolina?" "Yeah, I've always wanted to visit Texas." And I'm like, "Me too, man. That shit's like 2,000 miles away," you know? Like, so I think I'm doing the same thing with this music.
You're lumping?
Yeah, I think I'm cold lumping a little bit.
You know, like any scene, locale has everything to do with the nature of the sound.
Yeah.
So that kind of lonesome sound that Linda Brannon did,
Yeah.
I'm not immediately going to say that's a Shreveport type sound, but that was happening in Shreveport. And
Yeah.
the other thing about country music in the recorded age, since, you know, the recorded medium started, is, you know, it's primarily a Southern phenomenon. I mean, there's not any really remarkable country records from New Hampshire.
Oh.
You know, there might be some early rock and roll, but this kind of like salt of the earth, very real organic country music for the most part is south of the Mason-Dixon, but that's not to discount Ohio and Kentucky and even Wisconsin.
Hillbilly was what it was. The charts was like race records, hillbilly.
I mean, this was, like I said, marginalized, just like African-American music was in the beginning. Like, these are the other.
Yeah.
You know, these types that are from these hollers or whatever.
Yeah.
It's often said that the kind of big bang of country music was the Bristol recording sessions in the 20s of the Carter family and Jimmy Rogers, and that birthed birthed the entire genre of country. And if you listen to Jimmy Rogers, it's only a shade off of country blues music. He just kind of like spiffed up country blues and made it palatable to the white masses. When the Depression hit, the only person that sold records, his sales did not diminish, were Jimmy Rogers. And to a certain extent, the Carter family. But everybody else was like, we're not selling it. We're not even making your record because we're not gonna sell. But Jimmy Rogers, and his songs were kind of like a gazette. They were like, I know it's rough as shit out there right now, but hang on.
Yeah.
He always had this hope, and it kind of forced you to buy his next record, you know what I mean? Because he was a self-help guru.
I need another hit. Well, this looks interesting. We got a Damon acetate?
Yeah, this is a Damon acetate from Kansas City, Missouri, probably from the mid-'60s. The group is called the Blue Mountain Boys. I don't know anything about the band. This never had a proper release. This came from the collection of an incredible country music DJ by the name of Old Glenn, who basically from like the late 40s to the mid-70s was serviced every single country music note ever recorded. And my old boss, Ron Rooks, rest in peace, he had been working on getting this collection for like 15 years, and he got it right before Ron died. So this was something I pulled out of that collection. And I've listened to this a lot, too. This is really remarkable. And we'll back it up with another Kansas City record after that we'll speak on when we're done. But this is My Heart Was There by the Blue Mountain Boys on a Damon acetate.
Do you remember the night we parted? I do. My heart was there. Do you remember how I loved you? You don't care. I guess our love was just a romance, just a casual affair. You don't know how much my heart aches. I know my heart was there. So I guess I'll go on living this lonely life of mine. And maybe someday, darling, your heart will ache like mine. Then you'll know just how lonely and lonesome I've been. And maybe someday, darling, you'll come back again. Do you remember the night we parted? I do. My heart was there. Do you remember how I loved you? You don't care. I guess our love was just a romance, just a casual affair. You don't know how much my heart aches. I know my heart was there. So I guess I'll go on living this lonely life of mine. And maybe someday, darling, your heart will ache like mine. Then you'll know just how lonely and lonesome I've been. And maybe someday, darling, you'll come back again.
Early one morning, death come creeping into my room. Early one morning, death come creeping into my room. Early one morning, death come creeping into my room. what can I do? I do. Early one morning, death came creeping into my room. Early one morning, death came creeping into my room. Early one morning, death came creeping into my room. Oh my Lord, what can I do? I do. Right on death, 'cause you can't do no more harm. Right on death, 'cause you can't do no more harm. Right on death, 'cause you can't do no more harm. Oh my Lord, what can I do? I
So that was the Collins Brothers, Death Came Creepin' on Colbro, a Damon custom from about 1967 from Kansas City, Missouri.
I really like the lack of click track. The fact that like it's so informal that like they go back into the song on that little guitar turnaround. Like it's really unquantized country, I guess.
So that's a 60s thing. So it's, again, it still has its foot in a much different era. Like that's not influenced by too much, you know what I mean? Like, or at least not by popular country or commercial country. That's got its foot in old timey and bluegrass way more than it does Loretta Lynn and Conway Twitty.
I mean, the way they like lean those lyrics, like it's a even gospel-y kind of.
It's funny because white gospel often is in a bluegrass way. And as far as musicianship goes, I mean, bluegrass players are virtuosos as well as your Jano Starker or somebody that plays classical music. Some of these guys' musicianship
Steve
is
Vai.
True. Yngwie Malmsteen, if he only played a mandolin, right?
Yeah, if he only flat picked.
So moving along here, we're going to listen to a record by a fellow named Carl Saussman and his band, the Green Valley Boys. This is recorded for D Records in Houston, Texas, which was run by Pappy Daly. Should be noted that Pappy Daly is pretty much responsible for like 40% of all the country music to ever happen in the galaxy. Because in addition to running D, which probably had 600 singles, he also owned fucking Starday.
Goodbye.
You're talking about the Sauce Man?
No, not the Sauce Man. I'm talking about Pappy Daly,
Oh, okay.
the guy who ran D. But Carl
Not Sauce Man.
Sauce Man?
Sauceman?
A flying sauceman?
Pizza.
D and Starday are just, it's endless. There's custom releases as well. It's like he was kind of making it happen outside of Nashville. Outside of Nashville, there's basically kind of just Pappy Daly.
So you think he's like chewing on a piece of grass? Like, what's he driving?
Sauceman?
Yeah.
Sauceman had a little bit of sophistication to him. Hey, he wasn't straight up out the sticks. He knew that he could make a career being a professional musician. Like I said, he's got a handful of singles. This one I picked out to play because in addition to me just loving the song, this is one of the rare just straight country instrumentals. Not a steel guitar instrumental, not a bluegrass instrumental, but just country music instrumental.
Canadian waltz, where the mountains reach the sky, where you're happy and free all of the time, and you never say goodbye. You'll meet real friends that will live to the end of the beautiful rainbow's hue. You'll hear guitars under Canada stars playing the Canadian waltz. Beautiful old Canada, where the skies are always blue, where true friends meet in the summertime, enjoying life through and through. We'll dance the beautiful Canadian waltz, where the mountains reach the sky, where you're happy and free all of the time, and you never say goodbye. You'll meet real friends that will live to the end of the beautiful rainbow's hue. You'll hear guitars under Canada stars playing the Canadian waltz.
So that was two waltzes in a row we listened to, one by Carl Salzman, and that was Country Girl K. Pretty intimate, that, right?
Yeah, I am, being from the foothills, being a fiddler's convention kind of guy, I really like a single mic sound, like the real
Immediate.
Yeah.
Country Girls K is pretty interesting. She has at least 5 or 6 records, all on her own label called Wit K, and like every year a new one kind of surfaces, and they're usually little 4-song EPs. This one is a 4-song EP on Red Wax.
You think this came in her Christmas card?
She probably did have a Christmas card only exclusive, you know. She's from Montana. You know, a lot of her materials, the Christmas card thing is kind of on the money. A lot of the times, like this came with like a cover sheet with like a picture, a letter, a handwritten doodle, like all kinds of stuff. She's really, really special. Like all of her records have that quaint, beautiful touch. So from one mic to another mic, this is another one mic affair, and as kind of precious as Country Girl K is, this will be the exact opposite of that. This is a fella named Hexie Fair. This is on the New Hope label out of Johnson City, Tennessee. And this is not only heartbreaking and a little scary as far as its realness. The lyrics are very intense. It's called Mother You Failed. Starting there, like, did she fail Hexie Fair or whatever?
White Hexie?
White Hexie. So this is one of the more intense mid to late 60s country records. And to balance this with what was happening in Nashville, just a few, 100 miles away from Johnson City, is crazy. Because if this is 64 or 65, you're talking prime time hit Nashville country music making is going on. And meanwhile, this is happening as well.
Hospital bed, and the tears they poured from her eyes. She said, Mother, you taught me the ways of the world. Now why don't you teach me how to die? You taught me to smoke them cigarettes, go out with boys, cheat and lie. Yes, Mother, you taught me the ways of the world. Now why don't forgive me all this wrong. Oh God, she cried. For I am to blame. I will carry the shame. Oh God, save her soul if she dies. Then the little girl looked to the heavens, and the tears they poured from her eyes. Everything's alright, I got it fixed last night, and he'll save my soul if I die. Now young boys and girls, take warning from me. And on God, oh please rely. He will be your friend, stay with you to the end, and he'll save your soul if you die.
Take the razor blade out of your hand, Kirby.
Man, that just really. I need to call my mom and tell her I love her. Like,
Yeah.
that's like.
Well, that's a theme in country music, telling your mama that you love her, that you
Yeah.
always love her, even if she taught you how to smoke cigarettes. And Hexie Fair wants his mom to teach him how to die.
That's really. That's a real personal piece there.
Yeah, where there was like preciousness and optimism in the Country Girl K, it's like desperation and reality in the Hexie Fair scene. So that's a really remarkable record, though. I'd love to know a little bit more about our boy Hexie.
Yeah.
So moving across the table here, this is another of my all-time favorites. I probably listened to this song 500,000 times. It's a version of Indian Love Call by a fella with probably the most gangster name of all time. His name is Texas Diamonds. He was on Wreck Shop later on. Yeah. He was part of Screwed Up Click a little bit later. Texas Diamonds.
Southside, what's up?
But this is amazing in a lot of regards. You can feel the dust in the room at some roadhouse in the middle of nowhere.
You can tell this was an early Pen and Pixel production.
I need to bling out this cattle. But it's from Robstown, Texas. The thing that I take away from this, besides it being beautiful and sublime, is that the tempo of this shit is non-existent. It's like one beat per minute. But you can really kind of, I smell this record. You know what I'm saying? Like old whiskey and dust, some kind of cactus or something.
Ooh, I can't wait to get away from that.
I can see these guys, Texas Diamond, in his car driving with his band to some West Texas city you've never heard of to do his Wednesday night. But again, this is Indian Love Call, kind of a standard, but done by Mr. Texas Diamonds.
When I'm calling you, will you answer too? That means I offer my love to you, to be your own. If you refuse me, I will be blue and waiting all alone. And when you hear my love call ringing clear, ooh, belong to me. I'll belong to you. You'll belong to me. I'll belong to you.
Gorgeous, right?
Yeah, I think that's the best singer we've heard yet.
Yeah.
With a really nice...
Yeah.
That's like the Lou Ragland of Robstown, Texas or whatever. Like,
Yeah, he's in that. And it's got to be so hard to sing that slow. That's what I always take away from that. Like, the tempo of that is...
But he wasn't singing it like... It wasn't jazz. It wasn't like beat poetry. Like,
Yeah.
it is measured and there's control to it. And that is a young man with his whole life ahead of him.
Yeah, yeah. And it's probably going to be in a car driving to the next podunk Texas town. You know?
Yeah. Probably a pretty rusty car.
Most of the stuff we've been playing so far has been like way outside of Nashville and the kind of typical country music sound that we imagine. There's a great movie called Payday with Rip Torn from the 70s that illustrates the kind of like D-list touring country honky-tonk guy just going from beer-stained bar to the next. And it's kind of his life. It's highly recommended if you want to kind of pursue the Nashville rejects kind of the guys that whose dreams were broken by Nashville, not they weren't granted by Nashville. They were broken by Nashville. You know, people saw, they're like, hey, I can sing like that. I can do that. You know, I'm a white guy. I'd also like to say that a great deal of these people, even when they create beautiful art like this, you know that their politics are the exact opposite of everything we believe in.
Yeah.
I get torn a lot. Like, even listening to something as beautiful as that Barrier Brothers instantly, like, if you were to talk to them, you'd probably be like, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
I know he's capable of gorgeous music, but god damn.
His granddaughter definitely married a Mexican.
Maybe.
That's what happens. Whoever you hate is who your daughter is going to marry.
Oh, I see what you're saying, for sure.
The MAGA cowboy hats of 1940.
I get into this little bit of, like, existential argument.
Oh,
with
I
myself.
struggle with it all the time in the Carolinas when you're dealing with some guy and he pulls up and he's got like a show me your birth certificate bumper sticker and you're like, I can't believe I'm about to buy a 20 count off this dipshit. Respect to dipshits who sell me 20 count boxes of Blue Eyed Soul.
How else are you
whatever.
going to eat, John?
I mean,
how else are you going to eat? So moving along, we're going to go up to Ohio for this next one. And this is a little bit more standard. This doesn't have that kind of like airy extraterrestrial quality that we've been examining. This is a fella named Jimmy Durr on the Westmar label from Akron. This is called Desperado. This just has a cool vibe because this guy's talking about living this outlaw life, and you know that he's a pussy and he's never done it, but he's pretty believable. But just kind of like the sound of his voice and the lack of wear on his voice, you're like, you've never even picked up a gun. And all he's talking about is his gun. But it's a wonderful record in any case, Desperado by Jimmy Durr.
They say that I'm a desperado, and I am always on the run. The only way you'll ever know me is by the notches on my gun. I ride by night, I hide by day. Oh, how I wish that it was over and I could find myself a love. But every time I think it's ended, I'm in the shadow of a gun. I ride by night, I hide could find myself a love. But every time I think it's ended, I'm in the shadow of a gun.
The divorce is over, you have won, and I'm the only lonely one. It almost broke my heart in two, and I don't know just what I'll do. Just call me lonely, Mr. Blue. You'll take the kids, the car, our home, and leave me in this world alone. I hope you're happy with someone new. And I hope he loves you like I do. Just call me lonely, Mr. Please tell the kids for me goodbye, 'cause I can't stand to see them cry. I don't know what I did to you to make you wanna be untrue. Just call me lonely, Mr. Blue.
So that was Bill Davis, Lonely Mr. Blue, on Kuka from Sauk City, Wisconsin. And that was a little bit more traditional country as you'd think of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's kind of what it comes down to with a lot of the country that falls within the, like, it sounds like country parameters, is you either like the guy's voice or you don't. Going to be the same form,
Yeah.
the same structure, just comes down to the guy's voice.
Kuka is like a really interesting player in this phenomenon because there's like, it's from a pretty obscure place in a pretty obscure state, and there's music of all types that was recorded there.
Basically, it acted as this kind of magnetic node for all of the like rural people around Minnesota, Wisconsin, Northern Illinois, all that stuff that's not traditionally known for a country music tradition. So much of it was done there.
Yeah.
So somebody like Bill Davis, you could, he probably had a residency at some bar in some far-flung Wisconsin or Minnesota town.
Yeah.
And decided to cut this record. At first, I was kind of like, okay, this just stayed normal country stuff, but this has grown on me because, like, he's talking about the divorce and he's kind of given up. I like that kind of resigned feeling that he puts out there.
I really feel like Jimmy Durr might come shoot up the block after what you said about him kind of being soft.
Because he's a
and
wimp.
You're like, you're not toting, like, I'm in rap pages, like, the diss track is out, like, you say you're strapped, but, like, you couldn't bust a grape in a fruit fight.
You're saying I can't?
No, I'm saying that's basically what you said about Jimmy Durr.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Moving along, we got a few more here to play before this Dogpatch wraps up. This next record is by a fella named Bill Blevins and his band the Westlanders. This is from Richland, Washington, which is in eastern Washington.
Cool.
Eastern Washington has a very rich country music tradition. And it ties into the country music tradition of Canada. There's so much rural space and like openness.
Yeah.
Lends itself to this kind of like rural music, which is essentially country music. But this Bill Blevins is cool. It's kind of rocking a little bit, but I love it because the drummer, it's just a snare. There's no hi-hat, no kick, which is kind of tough to keep really good time if you're just he's just rim shotting. He's not even hitting the snare. You can definitely see this like maybe riling up some dudes at whatever honky tonk there is in Eastern Washington circa 1961 or 62. This was a Wright custom pressing.
Step right up and get your ticket. Well, here's an act nobody else has ever tried. It's gonna start just any minute. Well, this whole boy's gonna fall apart before your eyes. Don't delay, catch the beginning. You'll enjoy this most amazing sight. See it through from the start to the ending. This old boy gonna fall apart before your eyes. Well, he had his own family that he was crazy about, and then he met this brand new sweetheart, but he can't do without. The pressure's more than he can take. He said it's worse than anyone could realize. He just gave up, and he's about to break. Well, this old boy gonna fall apart before your eyes. Got it had a home and family that he was crazy about. Then he met this brand new sweetheart, but he can't do without. The pressure's more than he can take. He said it's worse than anyone could realize. He just gave up, and he's about to break. Well, this old boy gonna fall apart before your eyes. Yeah, this old boy gonna fall apart before your eyes.
I have no heart. You took that. My reason for living. You took that. I'm a shell, just a shell, an empty old shell. Anybody can move in the shell. I have no heart. It just beats. It pumps blood through my veins when I weep. It's a shell, just a shell, an empty old shell. Anybody can move in the shell. Don't give all your love, heart and soul, to someone that will leave you empty and cold. It leaves a shell of loneliness, a shell of emptiness. Take this warning, don't move in the shell. this warning, don't move in to this torment. It's a shell of loneliness, a shell of emptiness. Take this warning, don't move in the shell. It's very easy to move in the shell. Take this warning, don't move in the shell.
So that was Forrest Green, The Shell. That was on King. Forrest Green's a very interesting individual. He's from Clio, Michigan, which is up near Flint, and he owned a studio throughout the 60s and kind of like Kuka, gathered all of the kind of old-timey and traditional white musicians from around there, all came and recorded bluegrass and all kinds of stuff in his studio called Forrest Green Studios. Very, very interesting cat. And that's a cool record because it's like riff-based,
Yeah.
which is not typical of country music at all.
It reminds me of when I went to Korea and was shopping for records. I was hanging out with my friend Magwa, and I would pull a record out and be like, what kind of record is this? And he'd be like, oh, Tragic Ballad. And I'd go through more. What about this? And he'd be like, oh, Tragic Ballad. Like, everything was a tragic ballad. Like,
If it wasn't a dance song, it was a
tragic ballad. And I feel like that is, we've listened to a lot of kind of like tragic ballads.
that content, you know, loss, hurt,
Yeah.
shit like that is most of country.
Yeah.
Of course, there's jubilant songs and songs about happiness or whatever, but largely it's about like, fuck, it was so much better than before
Yeah.
her, or after my mama died, it sucked. They're not complaining either. They're taking their lumps.
Yeah.
And rather than complain about it, they'll just make a really good song about it. This has been a solid hour of country. Obviously, we could do 1,000 volumes of this.
Yeah.
Because it's such a rich vein of music. Even if you don't agree with these people's politics, you have to admit that sometimes they make beautiful, timeless music.
So good.
The last thing we'll listen to is a little bit different because it's from California, which didn't really become a country music place until Bakersfield kind of blew up, and Buck Owens and a particular sound that came out of Bakersfield. But this is from L.A., and this is by a guy named Don McGinnis, who was at the fringes of the music industry there. He's originally from Monroe, North Carolina.
Shout out to Jam Pack Records.
I call this Twin Peaks country because this is like real spooky. It's dressed up, it's got strings and all that stuff, but there's a vibe to this unlike any other I've really heard. It's really, really something. You can see that weird checkerboard pattern Twin Peaks floor at the very last scene of...
Over the floor of the Bojangles in Monroe, North Carolina.
Yes.
The Bojangles of his childhood.
It's been Dogpatch. I'm Dante Carfania. That's John Kirby. Keep on riding.
You tell me go when my heart wants to stay. Your lips say no, so I'll be on my way. I'm really sorry that I found you untrue. It's over now, darling, good luck to you. You tell me you love him, for me you didn't care. His kisses excite you, you'd better beware. Would you believe that he doesn't love you? I won't be here waiting, darling, good luck to you. love you. I won't be here waiting. Darling, good luck to you.
Johnny.